Hey folks, this is Justin Mason, and I wanted to tell you my story, my bluegrass story. It all started back in South Florida, in Miami, Florida. I grew up listening to my dad and grandfather play. The happy Santa Claus looking guy on the left hand side there, that's my grandfather, James Mason. And the slick looking dude next to him on the mandolin, that's Charles Mason. When I was a kid, they'd have practice at the house, and they put me and my brother in a playpen listening to the music. And that's kind of where it was started, where it was all born at. That little toddler you see in the middle, that's me, my sister, my mom, my dad at the Everglades Bluegrass Festival. So when I say I was born in bluegrass, I literally was raised up in the South Florida Bluegrass Association in Miami, Florida. It happens to still be the oldest music nonprofit in the country. They still have festivals every month. They still have their big Everglades Festival every year. That's where I learned to play mandolin. I want to be just like my dad. You see me there in a blue shirt, standing next to my grandfather. I think I was 15 or 16 at that point. Getting to play with Crossroads Bluegrass and learning how to be on stage, learning how to talk to an audience. When I hit 18, though, I left and became a medic in the United States Army. That's me there in the back, looking much thinner and much younger than I do now. But that's with 3rd Infantry Division. I was a medic. When I got out, I came back to South Florida. My grandfather just recently passed. And I love this picture here. It was the last time Crossroads Bluegrass played together because he had just passed away, but we did a little tribute show for him. And then I wanted to carry on the legacy, keep on playing bluegrass music. So I joined Southern Shores with some of the members of Crossroads Bluegrass, started to write music, started to really get a passion for performing. It was crazy how much happened in that short time I was with Southern Shores, and we started playing gigs and shows. About that same time, I joined a band with my dad called Alternative Tradition with Mark Anton, Linda, and later on Trey, and started playing that hard driving bluegrass with my dad's guitar style and my weird mandolin playing. It was just so much fun. When that band came to an end, Dad and I wanted to continue on, and we got with Sean and Joe Chewina and Serge Boyakjan and formed Alligator Rally. To this day, we still play, we still pick, we have a blast. We kind of push the limits on ourselves, trying to play better music all the time. And while I was in that band, and I still am to this day in that band, I also joined a beautiful band out of Okeechobee with twin girls and Sean Campbell, Spider Mo. Started really tuning in harmonies and learning how to sing with people. To this point, I still wasn't any kind of a lead singer, still not, but still got. I got this was kind of like the point in my career where I really started learning how to sing with other people. And I was blessed to have those three people to sing with. About this time, I moved to Central Florida, met Ernie and Debbie Evans. They kind of springboarded me into the bluegrass atmosphere, learning how bluegrass festivals are done. Ernie and Debbie introduced me so many legends of bluegrass music. Kenny and Amanda Smith, who I'm huge fans of. So and to this day, they're still pushing me and giving me opportunities. So I got to say a special thank you to them and to David Cowles with the Heartland Bluegrass Association. He booked Alligator Alley to some of their first shows. He booked the Justin Mason Band to some of their first shows. So I got to give it to David and his organization because they were really a blessing to me. When I moved to Central Florida, I started a band with some of the great pickers that are up here, called it the Bridge Burners. So at the time, I was in Alligator Alley, Scattergrass, and the Bridge Burners. I was kind of a side man in each one of them, even though I was kind of organizing the groups and stuff. So at that point, I had never really been a lead singer until I met the Canada Brothers, a great band out of Central Florida, really deep legacy in bluegrass music. And they asked me to be a lead singer for a couple of their shows. And at that point, I really realized what I wanted to do. I wanted to be a band leader. I wanted to sing. I wanted to be out there. And they helped me prove to myself that I can do it. So I formed in the beginning the Justin Mason Band. That's a picture from our very first show at the Heartland Bluegrass Association, thanks to David Cowles. And I will remember that till the day I die. It was nerve wracking. It was a lot of fun. We had a bunch of band changes just before the show, so it was a lot to do. But at that time, it was the Justin Mason Band. But I fondly remember that. Shortly after that, started to get my act together and actually formed Blue Knight. This is the band I had with me at the Summer String Summit where we got to open for Third Time Out. That band, I tell you what, we had such a blast. To this day, I still have the recordings from that show. It's still one of the most fun times I've ever had as a band. And then in the years since, I've had so many great lineups for Blue Night. So many great pickers I've been lucky enough to be around and get to sit in with, and really start pushing my music, my original songs. So that's kind of what I do as a band and as a picker, as a band leader. But I feel like I'm a little bit more than that. I do a lot. I'm a performer. I'm a songwriter. I'm a band leader. I love jamming and camping. People started calling me Mr. Florida Bluegrass because I love bringing people together. When I was in Miami, I kind of felt like I was on the island. I never knew what was going on bluegrass wise. So I'm always trying to bring people, fans, and shows together. On my journey, I've got to see and meet some amazing people. I've got to jam with Billy Strings. I've got to go to Gray Fox a few times. I've got to go to all these great bluegrass festivals and meet all these amazing people. And that's what I'm most proud of, is all the people I've got to form relationships with over the years. More recently, in the last couple of years, I've got to play to some massive audiences. I played the Clewiston Sugar Festival to 5,000 people. I played the Southland Bluegrass Festival to a couple thousand people. I've got to carry on my grandfather's legacy. That's one of my pictures, final pictures there with him on the bottom left. But I am really proud of the friends and relationships I've got to make over the last few years. And I cannot end this without talking about my beautiful wife. You haven't seen her in many pictures because she's usually the one taking the pictures. But she's tolerated my bluegrass nonsense the entire time we've met or we've known each other. And she's the reason I have so many great pictures and videos, and I love her to death, folks. So I definitely have to put her on here because she's a big part of my bluegrass journey. In the end, still have Justin Mason and Blue Knight. We're starting our 2023 season. I'm so excited about the group I have together. I'm so excited about the music we're already making, and so that's my journey so far. I feel like there's a lot of things coming up. We're working on an album. We have a lot of stuff coming up in the festival wise, but again, that's my story, and I hope you enjoyed it. I'm a Miami kid who loves bluegrass.